Salih alaikum, hello. I'm going to Palestine all alone with almost no money, no film crew, no makeup or friends except for the ones I met. Just myself touching the birthplace of Jesus, retracing his footstep, visit the breathtaking sceneries, eating the amazing local food, experiencing its culture and the warm hospitality of the Palestinian people. And not to mention witnessing their resilience and ending the day with a nice rub, all done safely, inexpensively, and easily. Anything I can do, you can do. DIY Destinations Palestine, and you are invited. We are so fortunate to live in a small world with so many cultures, so much beauty, and so much diversity. The world waits for no one. It's up to each of us to discover its magnificent destinations. I want to make travel accessible to all of us by showing how it can be done safely and inexpensively. Palestine has an undeserving image of being a land of political unrest, poverty, and chaos. But within this chaos, there's energy, life, and beauty. That's why I'm here, to experience the spirit of its resilient people, the history, and the cultures. Most importantly, to show the world that it's safe to come here, and to encourage all of us to discover without fear, and to experience this magnificent land. It's not that bad. We'll begin our journey in East Jerusalem Central Bus Station near the Old City. The first air bus station on Nablus Road is located right opposite Al Damascus Gate. These buses with green and white markings goes to Ramallah. The second air bus station located to the left of the gate serves Bethlehem and Jericho. These buses have blue and white markings. This is a bus I'll be taking towards Bethlehem to meet my co-host Boo Boo, a proud Palestinian who's eager to show off his country. I got off at the nearby village al-Walaja to meet him along with a local olive farmer. They want the world to see one of the most important symbols of Palestine.
One of the main figures is based on this olive tree, and today we're gonna bring you to the oldest olive tree in Palestine. Might be the oldest olive tree in the world. Official records, they say it's more than 3,500 years old. Za'atar is time, the Palestinian native time.
Of course, you can't just see the olive trees without some quality control. In the form of a delicious traditional breakfast with a famous olive oil and a dose of Palestinian hospitality.
Olive oil,
very important to the Palestinians.
From our holy trees. Okay, it's pickled olives, and it's pickled in a different way in Palestine. We call it tersis. And also it's from the tree here.
On the tree.
عندنا اللبنة.
Labana.
من الأغنام.
It's from sheep, and usually it's kind of a more dry yogurt or harder yogurt.
Nice.
زعتر.
Za'atar, it's a very typical Palestinian dish. It's made of local thyme mixed with different kinds of herbs and sesame seeds.
And
Dips, which is molasses or syrup.
Molasses. It's their version of maple syrup.
There's a term or a say in Palestinian, عيش ملح, which is bread and salt, which symbolizes like we came in a good relationship and bond because we ate together bread and salt.
I'm gonna get my hands a little bit oily and wet, but hey, I'm in Palestine. And is this right? It's good enough? Right?
Good.
It's good? Okay, I passed the test.
No, good.
The politics of occupation is unavoidable everywhere. There are multiple instances of Israeli settlers burning Palestinian olive trees while soldiers do nothing. And Israel is confiscating more land to build settlements. It's amazing, even under occupation, the Palestinian farmers like Abu Raza is proud and still are in high spirited. The tree behind us is the oldest olive tree in Palestine, and yes, sadly it's time to go, but not before leaving a token of appreciation in form of a sweet maple syrup.
Real maple syrup.
I continue my journey to the Church of Nativity, the birthplace of Jesus in Bethlehem. Getting there was really easy. If you're coming from East Jerusalem Central Bus Station, just take the bus number 21 and get off at the last stop. From there, it's a nice easy 15 minutes walk. The holy site known as Gretel that the church sits on top is associated with the cave in which the birth of Jesus is said to have occurred. The original basilica was completed in 339 and destroyed by fire during the 6th centuries. The new basilica was built in 565 by Justinians, and due to its cultural and geographic history, the site holds a prominent religious significance to those of Christians and Muslims. So here is one significant place to all the Christians is the birthplace of Jesus here at Church of Nativity. The main attraction is the star where the pilgrims are touching is the birthplace of Jesus 2015 years ago. So with that being said, let's get a little bit closer. Alright, so I'm touching the birthplace of Jesus. The Church of Nativity is also a World Heritage Site and first to be listed under Palestine by United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organizations UNESCO. The site is also on UNESCO's list of World Heritage Site in danger. Our next stop is Hebron, which is easily accessible from Bethlehem via shared taxi minivan. However, given the political tensions and being a flashpoint, the protest can spark at any time. Therefore, I do not recommend whether you should or should not go to this city. But if you are, exercise a high degree of caution and leave at the first sign of riot.
We're going to Nablus area, Al-Shuhada Street, and the area which is called H1 and H2, where the settlement is inside.
Our first stop is Al-Shuhada Street, the main road leading to the tomb of Patriarch. This is also where we met Muhammad. Muhammad also offered to take us to Al-Shuhada Street and eager to tell us the hardship of Palestinians living under occupation.
No, we're not allowed.
What's his reason that we can't go in?
Actually, in October, from the beginning of October, the Israeli soldiers killed 7 Palestinians inside, and they were planning for this. So they were trying to stop Palestinians from entering this place and from coming to this place. They want just to control Tel Rumeida and to make the settlement bigger. And they just want to make a connection between Tel Rumeida settlement and Kiryat Arba settlement, which is up of that mount.
However, today wasn't our day. The Israeli soldiers refused our access to the street, but like our Palestinian team members, I'm even more determined to get in, even if I have to go through another entrance, but not before handing out a gold coin to a Palestinian child, and the smile on their face are just priceless.
The bus station, the gas station, and everything, everything people, like when you look at the city center of somewhere, it has everything. So
what happened
the street used to be the main street in Hebron, which connects the north of the city with the south of the city. Here they were all kicked out of their houses. These shops are like closed. You can see this pharmacy is open. The doors are open because settlers went in, destroyed everything. So people since 1994 they just couldn't come and enter to their shops and to their houses.
Along the way, the entrance of Cave al-Patriarch or Ibrahim Mosque referred by Muslims, I walked through the street with safety nets above us and was told these were there to protect Palestinians from Jewish settlers who routinely throw stones even in hindsight of Israeli military watchtowers. So as a foreigner, would it be easier for me to enter the mosque?
As a foreigner, yeah, but as Palestinian, I'll be targeted. And if they know that you are supporting the Palestinians, Then you will be the other.
How are you?
You will be other target for them.
Good.
1948, they still have the keys of their houses, so they want to come back.
We continue our way and finally made it to a cave of Patriarch, also known by Muslims as Sanctuary of Abraham. It's a series of subterranean chambers located in the heart of Hebron's old city. The site is holy to all three religions and have been associated with Holy Book Torah, Bible, and the Quran. The cave and the adjoining field were purchased by the Abraham as a burial plot to be used as double tomb of Abraham and Sarah, Isaac, Rebecca, Jacob, and Leah, all considered patriarch and matriarch of the Jewish people.
Like for you, I'm allowed to enter, but you today, because it's a Friday, it's not allowed for non-Muslims at Friday.
Oh, okay.
So today is because it's Friday, it's a vacation of Muslims, so we are not as Palestinian, you are not as non-Muslim.
At the end of the block, we also made it to Al-Shuhada Street. Israel closed the street for Palestinians after the riot following the February 1994 Cave al-Patriarch massacre. The lone gunman opened fire and killed 29 Palestinians and wounded 125 more before being overpowered and beaten to death. The incident shocked and was condemned by both Israeli and Palestinian authorities.
So we can get away from them. Let's go.
Okay.
One second.
When a group of settlers approached me, my team quickly pulled me away, fearing the confrontation. I did what I normally do, a handshake diplomacy while the camera kept rolling. Well, the Israeli Defense Force IDF is not so happy, so my team was greeted with a short standoff as we were leaving. We were fully cornered, but there's no way we will back off or surrender our footage. Eventually, they retreated, and once again I left a gold coin for a Palestinian baby, hoping that he will not need to live the life of occupation. You and this boy, peace and prosperity, and I really hope, that's my hope.
This is Palestinian drink. For the BDS, we don't.
After surviving the standoff, it's obviously time to cool off and toast with a Palestinian drink. And yes, vitamin C and a dose of politics are all part of the same ingredients. But I need more than the sugar and water to keep myself awake for the rest of the day. The other day I tried the Ethiopian coffee, and let's see how it stack up. And to stack up, how it stack up to our Starbucks coffee. It's very unique because it's actually not bitter at all, but it's very smooth, and there's some little bit of sugar in it. Definitely you have to go and it's hard to describe, so that's why you come and taste out yourself, and it's only half a shekel, which is 8 US penny.
They're making a very good work and very good sandwiches and very good shawarma, so they're getting more.
On Fridays, most shops are closed in the Palestinian cities, so there's limited choices for food. The cheapest option we can find today is shawarma, and oh boy, they are really good and filling.
It's really good. Sukran. Alright.
Initially on our way back, I want to visit Rachel's tomb near Bethlehem, but it's inaccessible from our side of the separation wall after Israel unilaterally incorporated into their side. I decided to go off the beaten path by visiting the Aida Refugee Camp nearby.
Their own key because they dream to return back for their homeland as the biggest key of in the world. And we try to enter it into Guinness Records, but unfortunately we failed with that.
So they blocked the road of between Jerusalem and the Church of Nativity.
And it was very hot at the summer and very cold at the winter, so it was not so easy life. And
So are you still considered a refugee yourself?
yes,
So you're
it's
still
a political
refugee.
issue for me. Even I'm not living in a tent, but I have this dream to return back for my home. So I will not quit dreaming to have my right to return for my home. The Israeli government, gave it for other people who came from all over the world.
Do they know that was your land from before?
They know, and there is a lot of people who went there and told them that it's our land. And I could show you to my own papers that I own these pieces of lands in Diraban, in my own village. And all the people have their own papers.
We wake up early next morning and headed to our northern city of Jenin, a population of 40,000 and another 10,000 in a refugee camp. It was known in the ancient time as the village of Aaron Jenin or Tel Jenin, associated with the biblical city of Aaron Gunnan. Jenin is easily accessible by shared taxi from Bethlehem and other Palestinian cities via Ramallah and Nablus. The first place we visit is a central market to check all the locally grown fruits and vegetables.
And nice treatment, you will find it in Palestine way more than other places. And people here will ask you to take photos of them, and they will be happy to take a photo with you. But just give a smile, approach people with respect, try to shake hands with a basket of food for Palestine. Mainly all of our vegetables and fruits are coming from Jenin and Jericho as well. Well, in this market, mostly I would say 90% is coming from Jenin in chemicals. So it's all
no chemicals, all natural.
All natural.
This is also you can taste the ultra fresh, cheap street food as long as you're able to bring home the meat. Well, let me explain. So as you can see, I just bought those meats from the other butcher shop over there, and now this gentleman's going to help us prepare it, making it into a fresh kebab. This is going to be as fresh as you can get.
Old city. I hope we won't get lost.
It's big?
But yeah, it's not that big, so if we get lost, we're not gonna get lost for a long time.
Okay. The market is also called Al-Shuhada, the oldest commercial center of Jenin, dating back to the Ottoman era, and the old city is just few feet away. It consists of mainly tight-packed historical buildings that serve as living space, small offices, and workshops. Before leaving the market area, I also pay a visit to Cinema Jenin Project, an international charitable effort largely paid by the German government. It is intended to encourage culture of cinema going for the inhabitants of Jenin.
Culture things, the music, the singing, everything is start again for the culture, for the theater. Sometimes coming groups make a theater here, sometimes singing, sometimes music. It's very good for us, for our culture.
The cinema has a guest house for budget travelers that offer both private rooms and dorm beds with shared kitchen and meals on request. The hilly agricultural village of Burgin is situated approximately 3 kilometers west of Jenin and is home to a population of 7,400, mostly Muslims. It is also home to Church of St. George, considered to be the 5th oldest Christian holy place and the 3rd oldest church in the world.
Third oldest church in the world. Sorry to disappoint you, but still, it's very old.
Do you know how old According to Christian tradition, Jesus had passed through Burqin on his way to Jerusalem from Nazareth. As he was passing by the village, he heard cries for help from 10 lepers who were isolated in quarantine.
In this church, what happened, there was 10 people who's having skin disease hiding inside a cave. And when Jesus Christ passed through this village,
he encountered them and passed his hand on their face, and then they were all immediately cured.
Looks really old, the dag.
They used to live in that because they had this disease. They didn't want it to be a plague in the village, so they had to hide him in here, and it was so much sensitive from the sun, so they wanted to stay in a very dark place, which actually wasn't the right decision to do because in such a humid place.
Next, we are going off the beaten path again by traveling to a little known village of Sebastia, home to a number of impressive archaeological ruins. It's about 12 kilometers northwest of the city of Nablus. From there, you can reach the site with a shared taxi by the mosaic factory. The site included the archaeological ruins of Sumeria Sebastia, located just above the built-up area of the modern-day village on the eastern slope. The ruin dominates the hillside and comprises of remains from 6 successive cultures dating back 10,000 years. This is Sebastia, the capital of Sumeria. Now, as you can see in the back, we have a very beautiful Roman theater. Now, this site is actually very significant because this is where Queen Helena and his King Herodotus lived, and it also contains a prison cell and the final resting place, the tomb for the John the Baptist.
Which was just one small cell. The gate is just
According to Hebrew Bible, in ancient times, several Israelite tribes settled here. The city was destroyed by Alexander the Great in 331 BC and was destroyed again in 108 BC. Pompey rebuilt the town in the year 63 BC, and in 27 BC, Augustus Caesar gave it to Herod the Great. Herod expanded and renovated the city and renamed it Sebastia, meaning Augustus, in the emperor's honor. 2,000 years. We wander through the village of Sebastia. This is where the tomb of John Baptist is located. It's amazing how many historical and beautiful structures are here. This is truly off the beaten path hidden treasure, not spoiled by mass tourism.
can always see if there is another civilizations have been living here.
Oh, clay.
Yeah, you can see it all over.
Along the way to Nablus, we went up a hill and see the little villages of Palestine. It's truly a magnificent and beautiful country. I asked Boo Boo about his old Volkswagen, what happened if it breaks down. He said that Palestinian is extremely friendly and close-knit, and within 10 minutes, most likely there will be a car passing by offering us help. We end our day by traveling south to Nablus, one of the oldest cities in the world, possibly first established 9,000 years ago. Located in Palestine's central highland, it is home to a population of 125,000. Much of the local Palestinian population is believed to be descended from Samaritans who converted to Islam. These are all the patterns they produce?
Yeah, they have more than 500 patterns, and still they are developing new ones right now.
Our first stop is Aslan Tiles. It's the only factory in Middle East where handmade tiles are produced. Established in the 1930s, it produced over 500 designs of tiles for houses and palaces in Palestine and worldwide. The average lifespan of a handmade flagstone of those is 500 years. The white one?
The main purpose of the wood is like to dry. Now they press it with the power of 10 tons.
Wow. Wow.
يا مش مشكلة إذا هاي
Most of the metropolitan Nablus is small enough to navigate on foot, so we decided to walk over to the old city, the location of the central market. The public transportation in Nablus is informal and normally is done by shared taxi minivans.
So through time, Nablus has been the financial or the economical city in Palestine due to its unique location.
The Old City is a large residential and market area featuring many old buildings and lively street scenes and activities. There are impressive mosques, market or souk, Turkish bath, and traditional soap factories.
What's making Arabic coffee special is the cardamom they put in. You can see like the cardamom seeds over here, which is giving more aromatic flavor. That's crushed cardamom already. Saudi Arabia.
And surely it's
Nablus is famous for its Casio soap that are only produced here.
one. Yes, you are welcome. You know that Nablus is famous in manufacturing the soap from the virgin olive oil. And this place, as a soap factory, is aged more than 800 years. And this surely gives a very big meaning for the Palestinian people. All the soap factories owned by some special families and a family business. So it means that this gives a very big distance of good for the economic, and as it was sometimes a very big income for the area from these kinds of industry.
How's it going?
Very good. Wow. After walking all day, I was hungry, and I really mean it. So it's time to taste some local specialties, and my favorite, the cheap street food.
Okay, so the arusa is pita bread stuffed with minced lamb meat mixed with tomatoes and some chilies. It's 2 shekels. It's super cheap.
So that's like 50 cents.
Like 50 cents. Fresh food.
Arusa mean in English wife, yeah?
Bride.
Right. So if I bring one of these home, I can tell my mom bring home a bride, right?
Yeah, you can. It's kind of spoiling at the end of the day. So you can have a massage, you can have just hot and cold water, you can go to the steam room or to the sauna, or you can even have a special kind of, like they call it, the groom's therapy. It includes shaving, cleaning, extra cleaning until you have like a baby skin.
After getting myself a bribe, it's time to wash up before the big wedding, and there's no better place than at Nablus' ancient Turkish bathhouse, dating back 13th centuries. They even got something called groom therapy, which I definitely think I need, and is very affordable at cost of $10. On our way to our car at the Al-Hussein Square from the Old City is a route line with shops selling many types of famous Palestinian sweets.
Halawat ara is pumpkin candy. Usually they have special bread like wrap that they fry. You put the candy inside. The other one is halawa or halva, some people are calling it. It's made out of sesame paste or tahine. The biggest, most important thing in Nablus is, and what's most famous about, is Kanafeh, a special kind of dough, and underneath that a thin layer of lamb white cheese topped with syrup sugar. But this shop most specialized is in ullars. It's this kind of crispy layers of dough as well as filled with cheese.
Oh wow. That's pretty amazing. And it's topped with a sweet syrup. And I'm really excited. Hey guys, forgive me. It's my first time trying this out. Wow. Amazing.
I ended my night by visiting the location high in the upper part of Mount Ebal. Cinema Nablus has charming garden fountains, family meeting places, and also a number of ancient caves in the area. This is where you're able to find the best view of Nablus. It takes about an hour to hike up from the Old City. Next day, I decided to visit the St. George Monastery in Wadi Qelt to retrace a footstep of Jesus to Jericho. To get here from any Palestinian cities, take the shared taxi to Jericho and ask the driver to let you off at the entrance of St. George Monastery. Now there is traffic issues sometimes, and as you can see here, the problem is not cars, but with sheeps. Let's just hope this clear up soon. I decided to get off at one of the lookout points and capture some more beautiful landscape of this magnificent land. As you can see, over there is, in the green is Jerusalem, and over here is Judean desert, and this is actually Jordan Valley. So right now we are going to hike to Jericho, which is on the other side, through the monastery. So with that being said, let's get going.
In order to follow like Jesus' footsteps, and this monastery has been built here from old times. It started maybe with just a small chamber in the caves, in the cliffs, where monks used to come and like meditate.
One of the rare structures in Palestine is a 16th century cliff-hanging complex. Consists of an ancient chapel, gardens, and is actively inhabited by Eastern Orthodox monks. St. George Orthodox Monastery began in 4th century 480 AD. Destroyed in 614 AD by Persians, the monastery was more or less abandoned after Persians swept through the valley. The tradition attached to the monastery include a visit by Elijah en route to Sinai Peninsula, whose wife was infertile, weeping here when the angel announced to him the news of Mary's conception. Oh my God. So I'm on my way to hike to Jericho on this called the Jesus Trail. This is the road that led to Jericho that Jesus took 2015 years ago. The only problem right now is, once again, we have congestion, traffic congestion. The problem is not humans or cars, but well, these little creatures. The hike is about 2 hours. Make sure you got sunscreen and comfortable hiking boots. Beware of the rain in winter month. If it rains or has rained within 48 hours prior to the hike, the overflowed stream of rainwater and slippery path may prevent you from hiking the path. At the end of the trail, we arrived at Jericho. We waited for the local guest house owner Ashraf to take us a few hundred meters away to see the site of a Palestinian heritage site, the Herod's Palace.
And then we continue our tour. The King of the Jews is going to be born. So he issued an order to kill every Jewish baby. So this we have to always say every time we mention Herod. But Herod was also a great man of architecture. He loved architecture and he loved power. So he built palaces all over, including Herodium, where he's buried in Bethlehem. And there's another Herodium here in Jericho that is not accessible to the public. And this is the Herodus Palace. It's basically his winter palace. So the city wasn't actually there. The city center was here. So this was Jericho during Herod's time and before and after. And like many other palaces that were built in Roman times, there are aqueducts, there are Roman baths, there are markets, there are chambers and villas and rooms. The water channel coming this way, the aqueducts were probably filling these two reservoirs. Despite its value, its historical and archaeological value, Palestinians are not allowed to excavate it, to make diggings and archaeological research or preserve the site, which is really sad. And the reason this is so is because we are in Area C and Palestinians do not have direct authority over this piece of land, although we are still in Jericho and all the families and all the communities around us are Palestinians.
About 5 kilometers away from Jericho, there's an important early Islamic archaeological site. This site can be easily reached from Jericho's main square. Head straight up the Hisham Palace Road for 2.5 kilometers. And Turkey.
And like the other places we've visited, this is another winter palace.
and it was for Hisham, one of the royalties there. And it has a very, very special thing, that here is where the Muslims, for the very first time, because you know Muslims in Islamic religion, you're not supposed to draw faces or make statues of humans, because they want to, you know, get rid of all the blasphemies, and you know, they want people to have a direct relation with God without the need of a statue or a cross or whatever. However, when the Umayyads came here, they were fascinated by what the Byzantines were doing at the time in terms of art, graphical art, whether statues or mosaics, which led them to get out of this bubble and do the very first Islamic statues of kings and mosaics with living creatures. That the tree of life, as we know it, is the symbol with the two leopards and the two gazelles and the tree in the middle, was actually originated here.
Being a budget traveler, my plan was hike up the Mount of Temptation on foot. However, the owner of the Jericho cable car was tipped out that DIY destination is coming and I'm featuring Jericho. They insist me taking a complimentary ride on their cable car. Asaf explains the importance of the cable car, how it is very symbolic to Palestinians.
It means a lot to Palestinians, and first of all, they were smart enough to put it in the Guinness Book of Records for being the longest cable car under sea level, because you know, Jericho is under sea level, right? 300 meters under sea level. Yeah. So the way they got to Guinness Book of Records was by putting this last part at the end of the sentence under sea level, and this got them in the book. But the actual value for the community is that other than being a big business that employs a lot of people, it's also a symbol, because Palestinians, many years under occupation, have never actually managed to have the state of mind to think about building these kind of structures. And luckily, a local family was entrepreneurial enough to see the potential for this and an importance, and the cable car in Jericho became like a big thing. When you say Jericho cable car, you know?
The Mount of Temptation is said to be the hill where Jesus was tempted by the devil. Halfway up the mount is a Greek Orthodox monastery of temptation. The earliest monastery was constructed by Byzantine in the 6th century CE. Above the cave, traditionally said to be where Jesus spent 40 days and 40 nights fasting and meditating during the temptation of Satan. In 1895, the monastery was constructed around a crude cave chapel that monks marked the stone where Jesus sat during his fast. One of the magnificent must-see places near Jericho is the Dead Sea. Only 10 kilometers away is a lookout point near the Israeli settlement of Metbi Shalom, accessible by taxi. There is the private mineral beach inside the settlement, and despite being offered a free entrance fee, our program will not enter any paid establishment in the occupied Palestinian territory that are considered illegal in accordance to international law. We maintain our position that the money should go to the Palestinian people along with these land and natural resources when a large number of them suffer from high unemployment, poverty, and lack of access to education and clean water. Promoting responsible tourism is not a compromise our program will make. So I'm here in a beautiful family-run guest house. Before leaving Jericho, I visit Ashley's guest house, just a few minutes walking distance from the cable car. I like the fact that it has a fruit and vegetable garden that uses organic materials from the art gallery full of chickens, and also natural water irrigations, and of course nice rooms with a breathtaking view of Jericho. Israel and Palestine have both proclaimed Jerusalem as its capital, and given the special status, I created a separate episode featuring the best of what it has to offer. So, make sure to check out that episode too. However, at the present time, Ramallah is a de facto administrative capital of the Palestinian Authority. It's about 15 kilometers away from Jerusalem. This is where I stayed for the entire filming of the Palestine episode. Known for its religiously relaxed atmosphere, alcohol flows freely and movie theaters are well attended. There's cafes along the main street. Without question, it's the cultural capital of Palestine with highly educated and fashionable population. Our first stop was Arafat's tomb in Moqada, the Arabic word for headquarters or administrative center. It was opened in 2007 with tomb clad in Jerusalem stone and designed by Palestinian architects. This is a temporary resting place for Arafat as Jerusalem was his first choice. The message on the tomb indicates the final resting place of Arafat shall be in Jerusalem if it comes under Palestinian control. About 3 kilometers away is a Ramallah Cultural Palace and Mahmoud Darwish's Memorial, dedicated to one of the most celebrated Palestinian poet and author who won numerous awards for his literacy output and regarded as Palestinian national poet. Today, the complex is a landmark in Ramallah and a source of pride for locals.
He wrote the introduction for Yasser Arafat when he entered the United Nations asking to make peace.
The complex consists of 736-seat auditorium, exhibition gallery, and conference facilities. It hosts all types of events ranging from classical music to hip-hop to business conference and exhibitions. You'd be surprised how Ramallah are similar to other Western cities and able to find most things here, including finding my own favorite cravings, ice cream.
The name of the main street in Ramallah is named after this shop. So the name of main street is Rukab Street and this shop is called the Rukab Ice Cream.
This is Arabic gum with potassium. So I'm going to sample this right now and I know it's going to be really good. Oh my god. It's actually really gummy. I'm gonna get back to eating. This is good.
Palestinian beer, actually it's from a village called Beer Zayt near Ramallah.
Oh, okay.
And we have only two beer companies right now.
And right nearby, you're able to experience Ramallah's vibrant nightlife, with few drinks of course. In Al-Masiyun neighborhood, you're able to find Western-style pubs and bars, but don't forget to bring more cash, as the price for alcohol are pretty pricey here. I ended my final night in Ramallah by visiting the hilltop in the same neighborhood near the Coptic church overlooking the whole city. The name stands for High Mountain of God, and modern Ramallah was founded in mid-16th century by Haddads, a Jordanian tribe of brothers descended from Ghassanid Christian Arabs. Next day, I joined a free political tour to see the weekly non-violent protests happening in Bil'in, a village made famous by the film 5 Broken Cameras. I also had a chance to ride with a Palestinian ambulance. So I'm heading off to political tours here on Friday. There's a political protest every Friday in Bil'in. So one of the things I'm going to do is to be on the Palestinian ambulance. Alright, so here is actually fairly equipped. We can see we have vibrators and different kind of syringes and drugs. And so that the paramedic just told me that the reason, as you can see, this window is broken is because it's hit by a bullet, and it's very common for Israelis to actually target ambulances, which is definitely illegal under the international law. Since this is a travel show, I'll be featuring the protests in both Hebron and Bil'in, as well as day-to-day life in Aida Refugee Camp in the future special called Palestine, Life Under Occupation.
How solid and it's things for longer distances.
And Palestinian NGO called Conduct. Alright.
Okay, so you spread the hummus inside.
After returning from Bil'in, I'm hungry again. And you guessed it, it's time for some cheap local food. This time, at the most famous and the best falafel in Ramallah.
The spices are so fresh, you smell them and taste them inside.
Alright, ready. So one thing I'm really proud of is I managed to make my own falafel. Well, not make it, but at least put topping on. Apparently this is the best falafel in Ramallah. So let me see if I can survive my own falafel, and I think I have a great potential. It's so good. I'm taking full credit. Hey, are you guys hiring? I would like to acknowledge two hostels, Area D and Hostel in Ramallah. Both are wonderful and have offered me complimentary accommodations. Because of the logistics, I end up staying with Hostel in Ramallah. So before I leave, I'd like to thank my co-host Boo Boo and did a review for his hostel. Once again, I love asking the owners why people should visit their city.
Well, we wanted to bring people here. We wanted to show that Ramallah is safe. There's a lot of things to see that you can't imagine that is existing in Ramallah. Nightlife, sightseeing, busy life, and good food for cheap prices. We wanted to bring people here to share cultures, and as well we want to have our own social responsibilities. We're aiming to bring artists here, musicians, and just bring life everywhere in Ramallah.
As the city center is relatively small, it's not hard to walk to most destinations, including the old city. You either pass by the Al Square along the way to the central bus terminal. It's considered one of the Palestine's most renowned public spaces and heart of central Ramallah. Located just 5 minutes walk away is a central bus terminal offering service shuttles or shared taxis to most suburbs and outskirts of the city at relatively low price. This is where we end our tour of Ramallah, at the central bus terminal. This is also where you can board our buses that connect to Jerusalem and other parts of Palestinian cities. This trip is extremely meaningful for me, and I'll pass by the Inn of the Good Samaritan before reaching Jerusalem. The Good Samaritan parable begins on the ancient road between Jerusalem and Jericho. Once again, I will not encourage you to enter any paid establishment in the occupied Palestinian territory that are deemed illegal, and this is one of them. Without giving out the exact locations, I'll just tell you about it and its significance. We all heard about the story of the Good Samaritans. It has been mentioned in the Bible quite a number of times. Here's a place where you not only to get to know about history, but touch it. Over there is the Good Samaritan Church, and over here is also a well that apparently where the Good Samaritan drink from. It's quite an interesting experience being here on the ground where the story actually originated. The Luke's Gospel tells the story of a man being robbed, brutally beaten, and given up for dead before being finally helped by a passing Samaritan. The Samaritan brings the injured man to an inn and pays for his care and before continue on his journey. I urge you to be that good Samaritan by not turning our back on our fellow human being, the sufferings of Palestinians, by supporting their fight for their rights and a peaceful end to our occupation. I urge our youth from both Israel and Palestine to start peaceful dialogue, develop mutual understanding, and stop all forms of violence. These coins will bring you and your family. I come to Palestine to connect with the Holy Land, its history, its culture, and the resilient people. Not only I connected with the history, but also felt it at the exact spot believed to be the birthplace of Jesus, and retraced his path to Jericho. My favorite memories are seeing the resilience, the strength of the ordinary Palestinians, and the passion for their independence as witnessed in the Aida Refugee Camp. I was moved by their hardships and the daily reality of many while touring the Al-Shuhada Street. The lesson from this journey for all of us is peace and coexistence is the only option for moving our humanity forward. This is my dream, and the dream of those Palestinians who I want to thank for providing me accommodations, logistics support, transportation, security, and filming arrangements. Thank you, and shukran.